Today we're taking a look at the Superfish Scaper 90 Aquarium. This is the largest in their new scaping range. There is a 45, a 60 and a 90. I'll put the dimensions of that range up on the screen now, but you can see that the 90 is 60 centimeters by 40 by 38. And that's one of the cool things about this particular set, is the size and dimensions of the tank. It is a full aquarium set, so you get everything you need in the box. You get a light which goes onto the glass frame. This particular one is a 32 watt high power LED, of course, high par as well, 269, which is a very good par. The lux is super bright at 16,000 and it's the right Kelvin for freshwater plants. Also, it comes with a hang on the back filter with a surface skimmer, which we'll take a little bit of a look at later on in the video. You get a full set of plant fertilizers, including a liquid CO2 and underlay with background, either black or white. So as you can see, I haven't actually opened up the box of this tank. I've been waiting for the right moment to open it up together as a community. I'm excited about this tank because it's allowing me to do a new aquascape, which I'm not going to tell you everything about just yet, but it's coming soon. So let's just have a look what you get inside the box. Obviously I've already been through it, but it's nice to see, it's nice to touch and feel. Here is the LED light, the Scaper 90 LED. We have our background, black and white. It's nice to get a background in a tank. Here's some information about the fertilizers, of which there are two. We have FloraGrow Carbo, so that's liquid CO2, so a lot like the other brands. You've got Easy Carbo. There's an API one as well. It's all essentially the same stuff. It's normally glutaraldehyde in a bottle, but it's very good instead of using the gaseous CO2. And very generous bottle size you get in here too. A lot of the times these companies will put a tiny bottle in there to get you hooked. And then what will happen is you'll run out really quickly and have to buy some more. But this is a big bottle. FloraGrow, this is a full plant fertilizer by Colombo. If you don't know Colombo, it's a very well respected brand of plant fertilizers, and there's an absolute ton in here. And I love the little twisty squirter there. I'm not going to do it yet, but that's cool, isn't it? What a cool design. Now back to the tank, we have our filter. Now this is a very cool filter because not only is it a hang on the back, it's also got a surface skimmer. Now in terms of the tank, what is exciting about this tank, not only the fact that it is crystal clear glass, so it's I think a low iron glass, easily scratchable, however gives you a lot better clarity in terms of the tank. We've got a rimless design as well, which you'd expect from an aquascaping tank, so not like this one here with a rim around the edge. You have nothing, so that obviously makes it look a lot smarter. Now the one thing that really draws me to this tank is the dimensions. A lot of the time when you get a 60 centimeter tank that's 2 foot long, the tank then tends to be 1 foot deep. This one is 1.5 feet deep, and that allows you to do a really nice deep aquascape and build up the layers within the aquarium rather than having to try and cram it all into 1 foot of space. You can see at the moment the foam base is below the tank, it's in situ. I'm going to leave the cardboard sleeve on the bottom here because I'm not quite ready to set this one up. What we'll have a look at now is the light, and we'll get it set up and we'll see how bright this light is. So here's the light outside the box, and it looks really stunning. That reminds me of the Twin Star lights. Obviously Twin Star is an extremely expensive brand for the size of light that you get, but this looks in a very similar vein. It's a silver aluminium. We've got our LEDs here underneath what feels like a silicone protector, so that will stop any condensation getting on the LEDs, and it'll also give it some waterproofing as well, so we don't need to worry about splashing the LED with water. You get 2 plugs. So this is the original plug. Now bearing in mind that Superfish tends to be more of a European brand, and by that I mean mainland Europe, so in the box as standard you get a twin socket LED driver, but handily as well you get an adapter for the UK market, so that's what we'll be using. Here's the light turned on. It is in fact really bright, as you can see. 3 rows of super bright LEDs, so they're at the right spectrum already for growing plants. I think at the bottom of this tank you'll be able to grow practically anything under these lights. Really nice. Now one thing to note, there isn't a controller on them, So they're not Bluetooth, you can't dim them, you can't do anything like that, put them on a timer or anything. They are simply on off like that. Some people like that kind of feature, some people don't. I don't mind it because I have timers everywhere in my shed, it doesn't really bother me. But just to note, it's not like a soft start or a you know, sunset effect, whatever. It's just on or off. But I really like them. It looks really, really smart, doesn't it? So this is the filter. It's the Superfish Hang-On 200. Catchy name. But actually, it's an absolute beast of a filter. It's huge for the size of the tank. I imagine the number 200 refers to the volume that goes through it. I'll have to check that later on. And we can see here, it has a lid, which you can remove with one hand. And inside we have our cartridges. So there's a row of 3 there. So in the smaller models you get the Hang-On 100, I believe, and I guess you just get less of these cartridges in there. Here's the inside of one of those cartridges. So we've got 2 layers of fine wool, so that's a mechanical filter, and on the inside we have some carbon impregnated sponge. Now, it wasn't the easiest thing to access actually. Getting into these compartments are quite difficult because there's 6 tabs that clip over this front area, and it really fights you to try and access them. So I'd imagine the idea with these really is to dispose of them once their lifespan has given up, and that's a bit of a shame. What I'd probably do with this kind of filter is change the filter media myself to something that lasts a little bit longer. Of course you can still replace the fine mesh and the carbon if you want to, but having just fine mesh and carbon in this kind of filter I would say is not the best design. So what I'd probably do is try and fit in some biological media in here somewhere, some of those ceramic balls or something, and also put some more permanent sponges and things in there, because I really hate the kind of filter cartridge where you have to throw them away and replace the entire unit, because there's a lot of plastic in these, and I would just prefer to reuse them and not throw away plastic unnecessarily. So just an idea. I mean, I don't know if that is the case, whether these are completely replaceable and that's the idea, but if it is, I would say don't do that and just replace the media yourself. So here's the filter setup. It was pretty easy to set up. In fact, we've got our surface skimmer. This is a really cool thing. I absolutely love this. I put surface skimmers in all my tanks and they're a separate little unit, and just having one already inbuilt into your filter is just invaluable, because it stops that build up of oil and dust and scum that you get on most tanks. It just sucks it all in there, keeps your water surface crystal clear. We have our intake here. So this is extendable. It's got a little thing which allows you to move it up and down. There's also a second one here which, if you just want it fixed and not move, then there's that. At the back, just behind the surface skimmer, there's also another inlet, so it sucks water in from the bottom and the top and the middle of the tank, which is really good. It means that the water is being turned over throughout the entire tank. And there's our return here, so it's a waterfall return, pretty much the same on all Hang on the back filters. And we have 2 little rubber spacers here, and that's to stop the filter hitting the back of the glass, and also so that this remains at the right angle and the water doesn't just flow out the back. At the top here as well, we have a flow adjuster, so you can speed up and slow down your flow into your filter, so that will allow you to tailor it to your needs within your aquarium. So overall, this is a really, really neat kit, and for the price, so this one's $149.99 retail. The 45, I think, is about $99.99. That is Great British pounds sterling, so in dollars, I guess you can work it out yourself. Good value, I think. You get a light, a filter, you get chemicals for your plants, background, and of course the base for the tank with crystal clear glass for £150. I think brilliant value. I've had a Superfish tank before. That was the QBQ 30. Now they are going strong in terms of how people are reacting to them and what they're doing with them, so we can rest assured that this tank should also be of great quality. In fact, this tank is going to be replacing my QBQ 30. I'm breaking that one down, and this is going to go in its place, and we're going to do a aquascape in here. Of course, me being me, it's not going to be freshwater. We're going to be doing a brand new macroalgae, so that's saltwater aquascape in here. We're going to really put this tank through its paces, especially the light. I'll be very interested to see how this light grows saltwater plants. So of course, if you want to carry on seeing this tank put through its paces, make sure to subscribe to my channel, because that's one of the ways you're going to get to see the new videos, and also hit that notification bell. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to leave a like as well, because it really helps me to get seen on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and happy fish keeping!